Hey family, excuse the poor lighting. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you all because I had another encounter. Woo! Some powerful back them bone. Woo! Let me tell y'all something, and I really appreciate y'all. Y'all just coming out the woodworks, y'all just showing so much support, so much encouragement, so much love. That's one of the greatest Christmas presents you all have ever given me. I mean, y'all have always given me presents, but this particular time, in my time of growing into whatever this is, I really needed it. And I see that, honey, let me tell you something. I don't know about the rest of them witches, but mama got some badass witches commenting on her channel. Y'all bad. I don't even think no other witches on YouTube got witches like I got. Okay? I'm sorry, witches, to all of the other witches on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? This and when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking. I know it's some badass witches out there, but I'm talking about us, we the witches of the darkness. All of the witches of the darkness channels on YouTube, we the baddest. Witches that are just primarily saying we're just witches of peace and light and love and all of that and everything, I just feel like, they just can't compete with these witches over here and the darkness over here. I got mad respect for these dark witches because, see, they're going to go up in the darkness and conjure up, you understand, demons, demonic forces and entities to protect themselves, which is totally natural of a witch. If a witch sit up and tell me, I'm just going to send some light to them and that ought to take care of us and everything, that's beautiful and everything. But I feel like we still need something that's going to fight for us. Light does shed light on what's going on. It helps you to see, oh, okay, the light is on outside. I can see right now what's in my yard right now is something in my yard. That is the reason why the motion lights came on. But who is going to go out there and address whatever that is in the yard if it gets to a point it wants to intimidate you? It's the dark forces that you send from there. So I always say you gotta have, you understand? You gotta have both light and darkness. And if you don't want to address, you understand what I'm saying? Having the both of them, then you're going to be off balance. And there's nothing. Anyways, I love nature and everything. I love beautiful flowers. I love greenery. I love fresh prana. You know what I'm saying? I got to give that one to Infinite Waters. But I love that. But I also love destruction. And that's just the way I am. You understand what I'm saying? Because out of destruction comes rebuilding, comes newness, a newness. You understand what I'm saying? So it's got to be both balanced. You got this old raggedy piece of something standing up. It's time to demolish it, which is the destruction, so that we can rebuild. And I love Oya's quote, what she destroys, you no longer need. That is a beautiful, profound motto or whatever y'all want to call it, philosophy. I love it. Okay, so I don't know what it is. I've always been intrigued with, and it's just me now. I'm just telling y'all who I am. A lot of people are going to hate me and dislike me. But when the body, emaciated bodies like emaciated dogs and emaciated humans have always intrigued me. When I say intrigued, I'm not necessarily saying I like that suffering. I'm just saying it really takes me to a place where, it lets me know how fragile life is here on the planet. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes I go there. I just go in those places because it helps me to be humble and respect, you understand, the gift that I have been given to be fortunate enough to live a pretty good life here. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I have to go in a place so I can be humble. Sometimes I go in a place to suffer. It's something about suffering. You know, when you bounce back off the suffering, you come back even more powerful. When I go in a real black, dark place, when I come out, it seems like I'm more powerful. Sometimes I watch suicide videos where people are jumping off bridges. It's just, it humbles me. And I do have respect for the loss of that life. Don't get me wrong. But it humbles me. I have to go there sometimes. I listen to videos where the last words of a pilot, you know what I'm saying? The last word of the dying. And that's just who I am. You understand? You know, because I just don't want to put a deaf ear on suffering. It just seems like I gotta know this. Now, that's the best way I can describe it. I have to know that there's someone in pain. I have to know that. Because I feel like if I know that there's some pain and some suffering somewhere and people are crying out, I feel like some energy force will go out and help them. But just to say that it don't exist, I'm just in the light. I'm not going there. I'm just turning I'm just turning away from that. You know, I'm blind to the fact of that. I feel like I'm not helping in some kind of a way. Just for people to hear the story of the suffering is somewhat bringing them healing. I don't know. That's the best way I can describe it. So where am I at right now? I am going into this newness, heading to old age and watching my face change. You know, you can see the changes and looking over my life, and I'm just in a different place. 20 years ago, I would not be able to understand this right now, where I'm at. Just like 20 years from now, at 70, I probably wouldn't be able to understand that. Or 70-year-old right now, what they understand. The place they're in, I could not fathom what that is. So for a person that's in their 30s, you know, I know you think you know it all. You understand? Because when I was in my 20s and 30s, I just thought I knew the world. But when I come here, I realize I didn't know anything. Just like you in your 30s now, you may be in your 40s now, okay? Think about it. When you were in your 20s, could you understand this place you're in your 20s and your 30s and 40s? See the difference? So therefore, if someone is a little older than I am, even I can learn from the young too, because I'm realizing there's some young folks over here got their stuff together, sending these comments to me. I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? They way ahead of mama. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, y'all just don't know how appreciative I am of your comments. So I just wanted to come wish you all a Merry Xmas. And because the X means, you know, you just decide what you want to put there. You might not want to say it's Christ. You might want to say Kwanzaa or something like that. Happy Kwanzaa. It just depends on you. But thank y'all so much for the comments. Thank you so much, because y'all may have given me about a 5-year head start. I'm around here searching and tearing down walls and doors, and y'all gave me a head start. And even when you're sick and you're suffering, it seems like medication don't necessarily get it well. It seems like changing your ideology towards what you're suffering from is actually what gets you well. Having the ideology, and that's the best way that I can put it. How you think about what you're going through. You're grieving, and it just seems like the grief won't go away. All about ideology. My grieving with my pet, someone just emailed me out of nowhere and said, you know what, Mama? Your baby sacrificed itself for you. And I was like, wow, for real? Yeah. You need to always keep pets around you. And I never realized that the ideology of that helped me to get over the grieving. And I said, I must honor my dog for doing what he did for me. I have to honor that spirit that did what it did for me. Because if it was willing to fight for me in the physical, it will fight for me also in the spiritual realm. Okay? I know that spirit is still here with me. So I have to have lots of spirits around me, being that I am of the darkness and who I am, because I'm not no ordinary person. That's why so many people watch me, because y'all know something is very, very different about me. Something is very, very different about the people who are in the comment section. So people are getting hooked up in the comment section. So don't be shy. Comment. Who knows? Your husband, your wife, your partner for life, or someone who's going to come in and help rescue you, and you got something to give them too, because it's not all about folks sacrificing and ain't getting nothing in return. But look, they may just be in the comment section. They may be in the coven. They may be there. Hello? So this is a wonderful place for people who are displaced to come together, because they don't want us all together anyway. That's just like me and my aunt. We can't hardly stand to be around each other for too long. I can stand to be around her for a good little period of time, but I can tell she get frustrated. It's not meant for two souls that's so similar to be around each other, it seems like. Like her eyes would just turn. My auntie is really, 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 really dark. Now, she was not that dark, but we get darker as we age. I don't know what's up with that, because I was not this dark. I was the color of my nose when I was younger, but my face is getting darker and darker as I age. And my auntie, she's gotten very, very dark, and her eyes are kind of gray. They wish they were always grayish blue, but she may have some cataracts forming too. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? She says she don't, but maybe she does. Her eyes are just white. She has white eyes and dark, very, very dark skin, and she has supernatural forces that, honey, I can't even reckon with. I'm just hoping that if she dies, well, not if she dies, but I'm talking about when she dies, because I might die before her, because we made a pact with each other that she would get my spirits if I die first. So if I die first, she'll get mine. If she die first, I will get hers. You know what I'm saying? But the spirit she got, man, I might be reconsidering because you can hear them. They kind of got a growling. People don't realize. We all say, oh, they demons if they growling, but we got to realize not all spirits talk like we talk. Some of them, their voices are maybe very, very rough, and they can't help it. But anyways, thank y'all so much for everything. The encouragement to go forward. Look, thanks for letting me know that's Legba Norwa. It didn't even dawn on me, because he takes so many different forms. He's shown his appearance in so many different faces. You know what I'm saying? And so many different faces. So, okay. So he was letting me know with the plaid who he was. Never would have known it. He didn't look me in the face. And I'm just going to be honest, Legba does frighten me. Now, I've been trying to get over my fear. It's so crazy how I've done research on voodoo, okay? Because we were forbidden. A lot of African Americans are forbidden from the voodoo. It started with the slave trade, the slave masters, and the people who were the overseers forbidden us from touching it and messing with it. But it's funny how even though we have not grown up in the culture, the spirit of voodoo is still on us. On some of us, all African Americans don't have it, but some of us is still attached to our bloodline. The African American trade here was from Nigeria and Benin. I mean, it's documented that most Alabamians, whether they're white or black, have a bloodline from Nigeria, West Africa. Even the white people here. I mean, it's the truth. If you're white with brown hair, more than likely you have West African in you. If you're from Alabama, So even though we haven't grown up in the culture, what's interesting is like my auntie, she said, I don't mess with no voodoo. But for some reason, she's always describing an old man. She always said, an old man coming to get me. I see him, he getting closer and closer. And when she described the little old man on the cane, I said to myself, that sounds like Papa Legba. Why would she know about Papa Legba if she don't know about the voodoo culture? She don't even know anything about Papa Legba. Everybody in that family over there, my aunt's family over there, my maternal side, is always talking about the little old man. Why don't they know that's Legba? It's strange. So that's I wanted to talk about that. So I'm gonna be honest with you all. Legba frightens me. The first encounter I had with him was in 2009. I got a video up. And he told me he never talks. That frightens me. He never says anything. The word is always given to me in telepathy or drumming and I just for some reason I just know exactly what it means. The drumming, the sound of boop, 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 boop. I understand the language of drumming. That's a language in itself. When he first came to me, he scared me. He was storytelling with sign language and drumming. And just taking me like through different doors. And I was like, it just startled me. And ever since then, my whole life has changed. It changed my appearance. It changed who I am. No one relates to me. I can't relate to these people around here. I can't relate to it. I'm not better than what it is. I respect the experience, but there's no place for me now because I've been exposed to these different doors that this little old man showed me. See what I'm saying? So tell me how many people you walk around in stores and places and see that look like me, that act like me. And tell me, do you not see something has changed? If you have an experience with this little old man, you're not going to be the same. Okay? He frightens me because he don't talk. Like, he's not verbal. He is not vocal like what I'm accustomed to. Everything is sort of like storytelling and sign language and just showing me scenarios, showing me clips and videos of things. That's the best way that I can describe who he is. I hadn't had an encounter with him for a long time up until now, since I started the doll. And Norwa told me, oh, that sounds like Legba. I'm like, okay, he's back. I had my first encounter with him at 41, maybe because I'm turning 50, the reason why he's back again. Maybe the doll induced it. But let me tell you, I'm going to tell you where I was. I was in the house of the deceased person who was murdered in December. And Legba was knocking on the door. I was in that house. And he was knocking on the door. And I hurried up and locked it. I got a sword to fight. And maybe there might be some symbolic meaning to the sword. There was an incense that was burning, a long black stick incense that was burning. And I wouldn't open the door. I was frightened to death. I was looking out the window. And he proceeded. You understand what I'm saying? He proceeded to try to get the door open. He had a big brick. Because he was determined to open the door. And I wouldn't let the door open because my spirit is frightened of him. It is. And no matter how I try my best to, just get used to it, I am scared. Every time I go to the crossroad at night, he's there. Now, I know y'all want to say, hi, look, mama. He take the form of different bodies. On one occasion, I took a doll. He wanted me to make a voodoo doll as an offering because I put a lot of my energy and time in there. My body gets tired. A lot of people say, "Ooh, mama, you look wore out." Well, I look wore out because the type of work I do. I do what you call serious hoodoo magic work. I make the dolls. I put spirits in the dolls. Spirits come to me for my dolls all the time. And it wipes me out. Like I'm just getting to this point. I've been working on this doll 3 months. See the hair? I've already attached the hair to it, see? And when I work on a little bit at a time, because it would kill me to just continue to work on these dolls non-stop. You see that? It would kill me. So when people get them, I always tell people to give me time. People like, Mama, my doll ready? It might take me at least about 3 weeks to make your doll, depending on what size. A small one take me 3 weeks to make. A larger one like this right here would take me probably about 3 months. Lots of people got my dolls. Lots of people lost the dolls. Dolls just mysteriously disappeared. But I made a doll for Legba, and I took him a doll and took him some offerings down there. And I'm telling you, I wasn't playing around with what I gave him. I wasn't playing. I had him some rum. I'm talking about a big basket of stuff. I spent about $300 on him. You know, because folks talking about they giving coins and stuff. Nah. That ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. And you can't give no change. Now, the cost, Legba told me, I'll call him Papa. The cost of living has gone up. And I understand that. But I went down with that doll, and I really didn't want to part with that doll. So I was like, I can't give it away. I can't do it. I was standing there at that crossroad. I was standing there. All of a sudden, a man just on a 10-speed bike, he had a hat on his head, one of them crochet hats on his head. It was red. And he looked like he was about in his late 50s. He just rolled by in the bike. Later on, somebody said that was Legba. I went back to that spot. This was late at night. I went back to that spot because the doll disappeared out my hand. And I wanted the doll back. I decided I want my doll back. I was tracing and trying to figure out what a doll was. How could it disappear? I was all on the railroad track and everything. 2 hours later, I called my aunt. I said, the doll just gone. She said, girl, that man, when he crossed over there on that track, he got that doll. So I went back to find the doll. I was determined. Guess what? Even the basket was gone. I said, well, I God dang. Somebody done got the basket just that quick. I'm so hard to understand. I called my auntie. The basket gone. She said, girl, that man on that bike got that doll. And he got the basket too. So y'all can sit around here and say this stuff ain't real. If you want to, go to the crossroads. Leave Papa an offering. Okay? When do I suggest that? That's if he come to you in your dreams a little bit aggressive. He come to my dream very aggressive. And I told you, he said he wanted the peanut. He wanted the peanuts. But he was so aggressive the next time, you know, because I was talking to y'all. I said, well, he got to earn this. You can't play around with Papa. And he was aggressive. I'm like, good Lord. He trying to get in this door. That he know I'm frightened of him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how the ramifications of if you're frightened of this particular deity, how that affects you. Or how that affects things, because I mean, for 9 years I have been frightened of this particular deity. Still frightened of. I don't know if I can get rid of that. I mean, because we were taught that that's the boogeyman. So, like, you know, for a lot of people who don't understand African Americans, we've been forbidden to practice. It's in our DNA to be frightened of this stuff, because our masters, or whoever you want to call them, or our masters, our whoever they were, they made good and sure that if you was messing around with something like that, they whipped us, they punished us, they tortured us, they did these things to us. So a lot of us, we scared of it. We've seen things happen when messing with this type of stuff. So we for me, I'm humbled, but for them, they're frightened to death of it. So most people down here don't mess with no voodoo. Down here in Alabama, we don't mess with it. They'll call it something else, devil's word. They even call that man we call Papa Legba the devil. Right now, Richard Johnson, look up on Richard Johnson. They said that he got these gifts from Legba, and and it was gifts from the devil. They got them from Papa, but they were gifts from the devil. And in our culture, hoodoo. Every time the man came, the little old man came, and he had black gloves on and stuff like that, he was coming to take somebody, because that's another sign. That's how we know if somebody gonna die in our family. It's always that too, but I don't think that's Legba. I think that's Byron. When my auntie passed away, another one of my aunties, I never met her, but we talked over the phone briefly. She was an evangelist. She had the same prophetic gifts I had. She used hers for the church. And when she died, when she was getting ready to die, we called him the Undertaker, the boogeyman. And he came in the Undertaker's suit with the long hat on his head, and he tipped the hat to me like that. And it was a sharp, dark, shadowy figure. When he did that, the next day I got a phone call, oh, your auntie died. And I said, okay, from now on, I know that figure when I see it, you know. But now I had another situation about a week ago with the Kate man. Kate with the hat on his head and stuff like that. That was a few days before Sparky died. And it always come in a shadow, cast a shadow across the wall, shadows across your room. Like if it's a lit up day, the darkness of it will turn the whole room black. You can have your windows open. And, which is very unusual for me to be seeing now. I saw him last December, just before he took a family member. He was over my truck, casting a shadow, and I knew it was. And then I seen him again this December. So he reaps in December. Okay, so y'all pay attention to these shadows. How are they shaped? You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna have a study on Facebook. I promise y'all. So far, I only had one person that was interested. I need for you to email me again or post that comment so I can get that ready for you. I want a intimate study so I can stop talking about this information on YouTube, because everybody's not to get this. This is not something that you're supposed to just be talking about. I was always told that hoodoo is a hush-hush secret language, or you see what I'm saying? So anyways, I just wanted to just make this video, y'all. Okay, bye-bye.